No leverage, right? Anybody with leverage being blown up. No FOMO. So don't chase the peaks and don't sell at the lows. The further you are out the risk curve, the further your bag is down now. That's okay. I have Sui Solana as my main holding, so they're down more. Bitcoin is down less. You need to understand the risk curve. Then don't get fleeced. Don't lose control of your tokens by attaching some stupid website. Only have a small DJing bag. Remember when everybody thought that memes were going to be the biggest thing of all time? They've all gone to zero. That's because that's so far out the risk curve. It should be small and it should be there for fun, yet unlikely to make a fortune. The longer term time horizon is everything. Zoom out, remove the noise, and most importantly, expect 35% pullbacks frequently in Bitcoin. And that means more in alts. Understand that, and you'll understand the opportunity set.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. Raoul dives into the world of crypto and Bitcoin. We'll break down market trends, big opportunities, and where the future is heading. Let's watch and catch his insights together.
Bitcoin prices have not only already priced in a lot of the weakness in the City Economic Surprise Index, it's fully discounted the Q4 tightening in financial conditions that we had been talking about.
Now, remember, Julian, we were using this chart that got us the exact low in the October, November, December period in 2022. It was the financial conditions that we've used as our key indicator for the key reversals in narrative and price.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't remember if it was September or November, but we wrote the GMI article, "The Turn is Near," and charts like this one featured in there. So this was a big basis for that. So we know that this works, is the point. The other thing is that I can see a lot of people talking about, the widening in junk spreads, so credit spreads, and that being the result of, Trump's tariff announcements last week. I mean, that's true and not true. It actually is the result of the market speculating that tariffs were inflationary, which all happened in Q4, which tightened financial conditions, which started to drive credit spreads higher. So credit spreads have actually been widening, much like the City Economic Surprise Index has been slowing over the entire since the beginning of the year. Now, last week, credit spreads obviously jumped a little bit more, I think by 20, 30 basis points on the fact that the VIX is spiking and equities are selling off. But the reality is that credit spreads are widening because of everything that happened in Q4 of last year. The market reaction to last week's statement is more of an overreaction, but really what's gone on, which I'll show to you later, but really this is all a symptom of tighter financial conditions in Q4, which is now reversing.
Ethereum has only managed to outperform Bitcoin 15% of the time since it launched almost a decade ago, and things aren't looking much better right now. The Ethereum/BTC ratio just dropped to a 5-year low of 0.018, showing how much Ethereum has struggled compared to Bitcoin. Ethereum's early years, especially from 2015 to 2017, saw some strong runs, but since then, Bitcoin has been in the driver's seat. Ethereum recently plunged below $1,450, erasing 7 years of gains and slipping under its 2018 market cycle peak. Bitcoin also dipped but is still standing much taller, trading around $75,000, nearly 3 times higher than its old highs. Some Ethereum supporters are starting to worry about stagnation, pointing out that the number of active addresses hasn't really grown in years. Still, there's a glimmer of hope. Analysts say Ethereum looks oversold, and if history repeats, a major rebound could be waiting just around the corner.
The cycle didn't get going because we had the same tightening of financial conditions in Q4 2016.
Yep.
The cycle didn't actually get going till the end of April, and then it accelerated. And again, it's very similar to us is where we are today.
Well, kind of the end of March, right?
Yeah.
So more where we are now, actually.
Yeah, true.
So it didn't really pick up until the end of March, which again looks a lot like today. But then if you just zoom out once again, over the course of that year, so Trump victory in November, in January, on the 4th of January, we saw that sharp, harsh, what was it? I was going to skip up. Was it
35%, I think?
Yeah, 35% drawdown. But then off that low point, over the course of that year, despite the 5 or so corrections I just mentioned, 2 of which were 40%, Bitcoin went on to 23x that year. And no, I say this all the time, we're not expecting 23x. What I'm just trying to set for you is the framework for understanding, where we are and why we still think the best is to come. And speaking of that, again, one of the charts that Raoul and I originally published, which now is all over everywhere, we've pretty much closed the gap with global M2 using the more correct 12-week lead time.
I think the 10 weeks looks just as good. Either way, it's
one of the
basically
two.
a wall of upside to come.
Yeah. And so what this would suggest, if we're right here and everything that we just outlined, is that Bitcoin should be putting in new all-time highs, or at least hovering around all-time highs by the end of June. And, the same is true for the NASDAQ, which has grossly undershot global M2. And what did you call this? Excess fear?
Yeah, it's like, this is the market pricing excess fear. This is the VIX going to 60. We didn't have the same in crypto. This has been driven by equities, because obviously you don't tariff cryptocurrencies, but you tariff equities, and the market is struggling to price this in. But again, once China's deal is agreed, and the ugliness of the negotiation, let's see how that goes. But once that is agreed, there is a big gap versus what liquidity is doing, and we will have a very fast snapback, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it'll be, once we get the DMARC count stacking up, I think it's going to be a pretty V-shaped move.
Donald Trump's sweeping new tariffs have sparked a fresh wave of talk that Bitcoin could one day outlast the US dollar. Fear is rising in markets as investors watch the global economy react to Trump's aggressive trade moves. Jeff Parks, head of alpha strategies at Bitwise Invest, said the idea of Bitcoin surviving longer than the dollar no longer feels like just a wild theory. It's becoming a real possibility. Bitwise CEO Hunter Horsley echoed the thought, pointing out that with trust in the US dollar slipping and foreign currencies looking even weaker, people may soon be left with no better option than Bitcoin. While gold has traditionally been the go-to-safe asset, Horsley highlighted its downsides like storage and transport issues. In the end, he said, you'll wind up buying Bitcoin. The US dollar index has dropped nearly 6% this year, showing that Wall Street's hopes for a stronger dollar after the tariffs were misplaced. After Trump's executive order placed a 10% baseline tariff on all imports starting April 5, fears of a global slowdown have only gotten worse. Bitcoin itself hasn't escaped the turmoil, falling about 18% since January. Still, big voices like Bitcoin author Safety and Amos argue that the bigger problem is the endless printing of US dollars. Amos said America's dependence on a fiat money printer is unsustainable and suggested moving toward a hard asset like Bitcoin or gold. With uncertainty growing, more investors are starting to see Bitcoin not just as an investment, but as a true alternative to the dollar's dominance. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.